What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB. Once again, big shout out to my doggy, the UFC champion of the world, the greatest heavyweight of all time, Ahmed Ayamad. Stipe Miocic for coming through and boosting up the coin. Bash! Bash! Man, I'm looking. I'm going to start off the rip, man. I'm going to confess. Let's do a YB confession here. I tried to put a fiver. You can see the slip here. Luckily, it didn't get filled, all of it. I tried to put a fiver on Chavez to win on points. The odds were 17-1. So I thought it was worth a punt. Luckily, only 38p got filled. But still, 17-1 seemed ridiculous. And I ain't gonna lie, also, Paulie Malignaggi, he cucked me, man. Paulie Malignaggi was like, well, you know, Chavez is different. He likes to come, Chavez at his best comes forward and lets his hands go. I thought, I'll have a piece of that. 2-2s. It's only 40p, but still, it would have been a fiver if the gods had have willed it to be. Chavez came, I don't know what he was on. Unfit, possibly. I don't know. He paid. It looked like, for 8 rounds, it looked like Chavez was told, don't throw any punches at all. That's how it looked like. It looked like Jake Paul was in there just slapping. He can't punch either. The narrative, Jake Paul can punch. Chavez has never been stopped. Chavez is 40 years old. Yeah? And he's been off of the Sinaloa magic powder. Yeah? The El Chapitos. How much El Chapitos do you man think Chavez has changed up his snout? How much? Exactly. Some people, I think his lifetime record for the changness up the snout, up the nostril, is at what? 10 kilo conservatively? Right? Oh, how old is Chavez? Let's have a quick look here. Yeah? I'll adjust it for you, man. That's what I'll do. Julio, come on. Chavez junior age. He doesn't even look that old. He might only be 34. He looks about 34 to me. 39. He's old anyway. He's 39, knocking on to 40 in 6 months. And he's been off the El Chapitos. He's been off the El Mayo Zambada up his nose. So he's probably more like 48 adjusted. A 48-year-old man. Okay? There's numerous angles here. Right? Was he paid not to throw punches? That's possible. Is he just 48 in La Coca years? That's also possible. What we know for a fact is, Fake Paul's useless, honestly. He's proper useless. Chavez like this, just standing there. No pace. In the last few rounds, he had a little bit of pace. Even then, Fake Paul just clings on, though. I've been saying this, Fake Paul's got no inside at all. He's got no stand, and let's have a look. Let's work here, if he's coming at me. He clings on for dear life. He kind of pushes his punches out, slap, slap, slap. No, all this talk of power. These dudes, Chavez actually, he looked a bit smaller than Fake Paul. Fake Paul's not a cruiserweight. He's a light heavyweight, honestly. He's so soft. He's got like these big rubber dingy arms. Big rubber, soft. Chavez looked more like an athlete. But that'll be on, well, is Jake Paul going to fight anyone? They're already walking back the Zurdo situation. Oh, Zurdo don't sell. Well, we knew Zurdo didn't sell. In fact, you're telling me Chavez sells more than Zurdo? It's probably... Zurdo has 2 belts, though. Right? How was Chavez selling it? I don't know. His name, old time's sake, 40 years ago, what his pops was doing? Really? Yeah? Fake Paul gets stopped by any... He was goosed after 8 rounds. Fake Paul was hanging after about 6 rounds. Hanging. Chavez just stood there. The last 2 rounds, I had Chavez winning the last 2 rounds. It wasn't massive domination. He weren't throwing his hands. He stood there like a heavy bag. It was a heavy bag session for 7-8 rounds. Seriously. And I was convinced at that point, oh, he's been told, literally. And there's footage of it out there. There's footage of Jake Paul sparring people. In fact, there'll be a clip of it. Let me find the clip. Let me find the clip for you, man. Let me find the clip. There's a clip here of him sparring someone, and the guy slips a shot and goes to throw it, but pulls it back. Yeah? That's what he does. Let me find this. Here it is here. It's on DAZN though. They're going to cuck me. That's annoying. But if you can find this footage here, I want to play it. Why? These pagans, man. These Shekel pagans, they do too much. I should be allowed to play this, but take my word for it, yeah? Jake Paul's slapping around like he normally does. The guy slips some sort of shot, a right hand or something, and then goes to throw it, but pulls it. I have to find it now. That's what I have to do. I'll make it big for you, man. Pause. I'll make it super duper duper big for you, man. And Hopefully I don't have to edit this. It's going to piss me off if I do. But this is going to set the scene for what the Chavez fight was like. This is how Jake Paul spars. Watch Jake Paul now, watch. I wonder if I can go inch by inch on this one. No, it doesn't allow it on this one. There we go. There it is. Watch this here. So Fake Paul slapping around, yeah? Watch. You man don't watch it. That's your problem. You man don't watch. You talk too much. You don't watch. What? Lose your eyes right now. Not you. Zip your mouth. Zip your ears and lose your eyes. Watch this here. Fake Paul slapping about. That's what you're doing. Watch. So Fake Paul, jab, right hand. The guy rolls it, yeah. He rolls the right hand. And now watch the left hook. Well, the left uppercut it probably would be. Watch. See that? You can't really tell it in short speed, but I'll play it. I'll play this whole second. I'll play this whole exchange here. All right, here we go. Watch it. Watch. See that? He goes and then pulls it. Fake Paul's right there. Yeah? That's what happened. He pulls the shot. He pulls the right hand. Watch. 1, 2, slip. There's the uppercut all day and night. Fake Paul's right there. Uppercut all day and night. And he just holds him. He holds it. He don't do nothing. Look. Gets dropped in the mouth. He's following him. You see what I mean? Watch this footage here. Yeah? This is the best Fake Paul got. All you'll see is Fake Paul, some dude standing there, walking at him, and he's just teeing off, and they don't throw their hands. Is it a coincidence? Or is this a script? Yeah? Jake Paul was brought in. His sparring partners are trained to do what he knows his fighters are doing. He knew Chavez is going to be a heavy bag, so he brings in people, he tells them, hey, I'll pay you $2,000 for a sparring session. All you have to do is stand there like this and follow me and don't throw no shots. That's what you see here. Call me a liar. Watch again. Big heavy bag, teeing off, taking shots. Yeah. Slips the right hand. That should have been in there. Nothing. Pops with a jab. Thank you. Keep plodding forward, eating shots. That is what Fake Paul sparring partners do. They're brought in to do nothing. Yeah? Just heavy bags. And that's what Chavez was. Chavez was despicable. I felt sorry for his daddy, really. To be fair. He obviously got paid some good bread, but his daddy was like, come on, let's have a go, let's go now. And Chavez was just stinking the place out, man. No pace from early on. No pace at all, even in the last few rounds. It wasn't, I think he was probably blowing as well. He's not, he's retired, he's finished. He's been finished, 10, 15 years he's been finished. That Martinez fight was what, 13 years ago. He's been finished. Yeah? He was finished for Canelo. He didn't really want to be in the Canelo fight either. He only took it because it was a big money fight. That was what, 10 years ago. He's been finished. Yeah? And he was even more finished in this one. A little bit of pace at the end. If he'd have started earlier, Jake Paul's got no gas. Jake Paul's got 6 rounds of gas. Jake Paul was in there with a 160 pounder, yeah. He weren't throwing his hands and he was hanging, right? You put him in there with any proper heavyweight over 12, yeah. Badu Jack stops Fake Paul. Ramirez stops Fake Paul early. Upper Stinker, Jai Pattaya, he stops Fake Paul in 3 rounds, honestly. I don't even like Upper Pattaya, you know that. He stops Fake Paul in 3 rounds. You wouldn't have seen nothing like it. And since Upper Pattaya is fighting bums anyway, he might as well, at least he'd be doing a public service there. I'd rather him fill Fake Paul in, honestly. I wouldn't be hating on Upper Pattaya if he was calling out Fake Paul now. Yeah, I really wouldn't. Because who's he fighting? He fought some 4-foot bridge trial the other day. So you might as well at least fill in Fake Paul in. We all get something from it. Who got something from Jai Upper Stinker knocking some 4-foot dude's jaw off? I didn't. That was it winding me up. This will be good though. I'll be cheering for Upper Stinker. I really would. As long as you don't take a dive. Because that's the only way Fake Paul beats any of these man over 12. Even in a 6-round fight, he's not beating none of them. I just don't see nothing there. He can't really punch though. He can't punch either. He's alright early, but he gets super slow and super goosed. Yeah? And he's got this myth. He thinks he's a cruiserweight. He's nothing. He's a 175 pounder. Which will show when he's in there. He's fighting at cruiserweight, but he's pulling up 160 pounders to cruiserweight. Because he's lazy, he don't want to cut weight. And he gets away with it at this level. Do we have to give him credit? Chavez has got no feet and he stands there like this. Yeah? If you stand there like this, you got to be throwing your hands at some point. Like Virgil Ortiz, for example. You can't just be standing there with slow feet like that and being teed off on. Early on in the fight, this reminded me to some extent, not as bad, but well, Chavez was worse, but Canelo versus Bivol. I'm not saying Fake Paul's Bivol. It was like a D-level version of that. Just getting teed off on. There was no passion. There was no, I'm giving it to you now. Chavez didn't get rocked. So I'd like to have seen him. Come on, let's go now. Loads of times I thought, come on. Pop, pop. Double it up. Pop, pop. Yeah? Get on him. Triple it up. Pop, pop, pop. Have a go. Let your hands go. And the few I probably saw, they say Chavez threw 100 punches. Sorry, they say Chavez landed 100 punches. Cap. He landed probably 10 punches. Them 10 punches he landed though, I was like, all right. Who looked better at throwing hands when they were going, which was very rare? It was Chavez for me. Chavez had fake pull on the ropes a few times, but there was no kind of. He wasn't gagging to win, and I think that's a key point here. Jake Paul, who's the last guy Jake Paul thought who wanted to win? He really wanted it. Anderson Silva, yeah, he's 50. He don't really want nothing. Yeah, but a cup of tea and to put his feet up is the truth. You can't count for it. Mike Tyson, the same thing. These guys they've had their career 40 years ago. They literally had Mike Tyson had his career a whole lifetime ago. Do you understand? So he don't want nothing. Yeah, a cup of cha and his feet up is what Mike wants, and his slippers on if it's winter. That's what he wants. Anderson Silva, same thing. He broke his leg. He's been put back together by modern technology. Modern medicine's put him back together. Humpty Dumpty. But his leg's still shot to bits. 50. How much does he really want it? You don't. Once you've had your whole UFC career and you're doing boxing as a bit of a play around thing, you don't really want it. So Mike Tyson didn't really want it. Anderson don't really want it. Chavez, same thing. He had his career 20 years ago, and even then people were sceptical of it. Who else we got? Who's else he fought? The one guy who's had a time and a half alive was Tommy. And he got boxed up. He went life and death. He found his level. Mike Perry. Limited. He might want it a little bit, but he's useless. So it's like one of them. You can want it as much as you want, but when you... Put him up. Put him up. Mike Perry. I don't know who trains Mike Perry, man. It winds me up when I see these top... Well, Mike Perry's not a top boxer, but when I see these top athletes as such, at the top of sports, doing something, and they're deep. It's like, if you're going to be a heavy bag, that's the only thing I'll give Chavez credit for. At least he was a decent heavy bag. At least his defense was all right. He got him through the fight. Mike Perry, if you're going to walk in with your hands up, you can't do it like this, bro. Put him up. Put him up. It kills me seeing Mike Perry, man. Mike Perry was light in the back, though. He was light in the back, leaky deaky. And he's no good either. And he's probably lost most of his brain cells in them UFC/bare knuckle fights. I'm going to do a video soon, but I honestly think Jake Paul called out Anthony Johnston. AJ will spark him. Cold. Ice cold. Again, unless it's rigged though. I know them Nigerian man. Them man love the coin too much is the problem with AJ and fake Paul. Yeah? If the Netflix El Shekel bag comes and they tell AJ jump on the floor for 200 mil, is AJ going to say no? I don't put it past Johnston. Yeah? To come out after the fight saying, yeah, man, get on my level. I'd still back him with the coin. I'd back him. But I'd back Chavez as well. So you see what I mean? You're like, oh, but the legacy. Well, you'd think Chavez had some legacy, not getting punched up by fake Paul. It didn't matter, did it? Yeah? Tommy didn't sell out, though. So you'd like to think AJ wouldn't sell out. You'd like to think he's got enough. Yeah? But we saw him on the Oxford Union talking about, oh, Bitcoin. So the minute people start talking about Bitcoin with me, man, I'm sceptical of their, or particularly athletes. When the minute you start talking about finances and real estate, you think, really? That's not really your job, bro. Yeah, like that. You should be thinking about doing someone some proper serious harm. Yeah? Verging on illegal arm is what I'm doing to you. Never mind no Bitcoin. Never mind no real estate deals. You're getting it. Do you see what I mean? That's the difference. If I hit Bitcoin, I'm thinking, you really thinking about the game like that? What I will say though, I wouldn't mind seeing Jake Paul versus Wilder. Yeah. And I hate to say it. I think fake Paul might beat Wilder. I'd still back Wilder on principle though. But that's a good fight. That is actually a good fight. That will be a good one. You see what I mean? Fake Paul versus Wilder. Because that's the level Wilder's at now. We talked yesterday about Wilder beat versus Fisher. But we know Wilder's not a massive heavyweight, which will work for fake Paul. Also, Wilder looks completely finished. And he has the US... Well, he was never a big US ticket seller, but still. I think the Jake Paul versus Wilder's bigger than Jake Paul versus Chavez. Bigger than Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Not as big as Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, but it's up there. This will be Jake Paul's second biggest fight. And scarily enough, I think it's winnable. Again, I'd back Wilder. I don't even have to look at the technicals of it. On principle, I've got to back Wilder. Yeah, I've got to. I've got to say Wilder wins, but I can see how he don't win. Because Jake Paul will slap away. Will he slap away against someone 6'7" though? Most of the time, Jake Paul has the reach advantage and the height advantage and the size advantage, so he's able to just, when he didn't have them factors with Tommy, he wasn't punching nowhere near as much. But Wilder doesn't have no defense. Wilder has no defense. Wilder looked goosed after 6 rounds himself, hanging. Wilder's got no power now. So that is actually a good fight. I don't think, assuming it's not rigged, I think AJ versus Jake Paul will be a whitewash. But Jake Paul versus Wilder, I'm tuning into for that, to tell the truth. So that is where he should go next, really, if I'm honest. If you're digging up people who are finished, right? And that'll be a good win for Fake Paul. I'll give him credit. If Fake Paul beats Wilder, yeah, as bad as Wilder looks, you have to give him credit at that point. I think that's fair. Because Wilder really should do Fake Paul some serious harm. And that's why we'll tune in on the Never Never, that Wilder's going to turn up. But it'll be the great thing about that is it's win-win. I'd rather see Wilder proper plaster Fake Paul all over the canvas. That said, though, if I saw Jake Paul boxing Wilder up, that would be pretty funny as well. So it's a win-win, right? How do you lose in that fight? It's either shocking for Wilder to get beat by Fake Paul, or Fake Paul gets proper filled in like you've never seen before. Yeah? Because he's not going to fight. You forget about the proper champions at cruiserweight or light heavyweight. Forget about them. There's no way he's ever fighting them. You talked about fighting AJ at the end of 26. Well, in the meantime, what are you going to do? Who are they going to dig up next? Who would they dig up? He claims he's got loads of options, although he did mention Tommy, which might make sense. But I'd go Wilder first, if I could. Let's see who bites. I'd go Wilder first, then Tommy. Tommy's not... The thing about Tommy is he's not going nowhere fast. He literally, all he can do is beg to hang at the back of Fake Paul. Or all he can do is beg for Fake Paul to hang at the back of him. He'll be here 5 years from now as such. Wilder, though, he might not be here 5 years from now. And Wilder just fought, so there's a little bit of buzz there, tiny bit of buzz there. Get on him now. He might not even accept the fight. Right? But why wouldn't you, though? That's going to bring him... That might be one of Wilder's biggest fights. Honestly. That'd probably get done on Netflix as well. I'd argue... What? Wilder versus Fury? I think, for whatever reason, the social media age, I think Fake Paul versus Wilder might be. And given the Netflix premium and maybe... Turkey wouldn't be involved, but certainly the Netflix premium... Jake Paul versus Wilder on Netflix, that might outsurpass. Jake Paul will be able to finesse the selling of it to Netflix to surpass Wilder's biggest payday. So either way, Wilder's team, I'd reach out to Jake Paul on this one, honestly. It's a winnable fight for Wilder, but that's the time we're at now. I don't want to see Fake... Well, we've been saying this, but I don't want to see Fake Paul. Tommy or Wilder will do, or AJ will do. Any of these half-decent names. I don't want to see no more of these, though. Canelo would have done... who can he dig up? I saw on the gambling site, they've got Conor McGregor in there. Fake Paul deals with Conor McGregor. Yeah, Conor McCoker. No, he's not coming back anyway. But still, if it was to happen, Fake Paul would deal with him. As sad as that sounds, McCabe can't punch. He can't box either. We saw him in there with Little Floyd. Little Floyd stopped him. Little Floyd don't stop no one. Yeah? Little Floyd don't stop no one. He stopped McTapper. And that was in McTapper's prime, more or less. Now... Can you believe that was 8 years ago? 8 years ago! Wow! That's scary, man. Can you believe that? 2017. 8 years ago. 8 years ago, McTapper couldn't box. Yeah? Let's assume, how much sniff do you think McTapper's doing a day? What? It's at least an eighth. He's putting at least a 3-5 up his snout, I reckon, a daily basis. What's that a week? I'd say he's doing about a Z a week. Yeah? A Z a week. That's what he's doing. On average. Right? 28 grams is what he's doing a week. Right? 100%. What's that a year? 1.5 kilos a year. So he's already... McSniff's already 10 kilo plus into his sniffing career. And at 32, he's put a lot... He's front-loaded his career. Yeah? McSniff has front-loaded his coca career. 10 kilos in the first 8 years is a phenomenal rate. Just blowing through it, changing it up there. Whatever you say about Fake Paul, he's obviously on the gear as well. That got leaked. But he trains like an athlete, Fake Paul. He tries to be an athlete. Obviously, he has the rigged sparring, he has the rigged fights, but what's McTapper going to do? Nothing. He'd be too small as well. He'd have no chance at all. And McTapper knows that. Fake Paul's called for that fight a few times, but McTapper, I'll do this, I'll do that. He knows he won't do nothing. He do nothing, man. I think Fake, because McSniff ain't got no... McSniff didn't have no cardio at the best of his career. Certainly against Floyd, against fake Paul, and 10 kilo of Kinahan's finest later, he's going to have even less cardio. Proper no cardio, man. We've been in all that whiskey. We haven't even factored in the whiskey here, folks. Yeah? Never mind the 10 kilo of Chang that he's inhaled. What about the whiskey? Which is equally as detrimental. Yeah? That whiskey has been rotting his insides. His liver function is going to be shot to pieces. Plus, some people are saying he's on the TRT as well. So you put all this big soup pot. I think fake Paul stops McSniff. Again, as sad as that sounds, I want someone to go in there. But these guys know what they're doing, don't they? They either paid him off like Chavez. They pay him and say, yeah, well, what you do is do 8 rounds. Let me tee off on you. Let me win 8 rounds in a row. And then have a little bit of a go at the end. And that's what Chavez did. Right to script. Like fake Paul's sparring partners were. I don't see people say fake Paul's improving. Honestly, I think if he was improving that much, he probably should have stopped Chavez, given how Chavez weren't doing nothing. Is it hard to stop a man who's just solely focused on defense? Again, Golovkin. Yeah. And you've got the size advantage and you can allegedly punch like fake Paul can. The size advantage. Sorry. Who could politic Golovkin? Right. He was a heavy bag. That's what Chavez was. So I don't want to see fake Paul no more. Listen, we've been saying that. It winds me up. He knows what he's doing. Getting there with Wilder, I'll give him credit. Honestly, I will. Even if he beat Tommy Fury, I'd give him a little bit of credit. I don't think he does, though. Well, I don't know, actually. At cruiserweight, Tommy looks really slow. If they go back down to 185, which I doubt, because both of them, man, they like eating. But at a lighter weight, I've got Tommy winning again. At heavier weight, though, Tommy was hanging. Tommy fought some Bulgarian plumber the other day, yeah. And he was going life and death. Life and death he was going. He's got these big blown up arms and these big geary shoulders as Tommy. And I got fake Paul beating Tommy. But I said that the first time. At a heavier weight though, I just don't see what Tommy's going to do. He'll be really slow and really tired. He needs to be quick on his feet, Tommy does. But everyone likes to go up in weight. No one really wants to cut weight. It's just long. It's just something you know. Who can be asked to eat less? That's long. You know what I mean? So it'll be a heavy fight, and Jake Paul probably beat him. But I can't give him credit for that either. What's Tommy done, man? He's got to start doing something. They keep saying, "Oh, he's an amateur career," and yeah, but the amateur, and he's gaining his amateur career. Is that fair to say? The thing is, yeah, Anderson Silva, he beat Chavez. The other guy, Uriah Hall, he was never no good in the UFC. He beat Chavez. So it's like you've gone back. You're now beating people that people you've beat have beat. So there's no step on. Mike Perry, he was worse than Silva. You've gone backwards since Anderson Silva and Tommy Fury. You've gone back. Yeah, 70-year-old Parkinson's. What do they call it? 70-year-old Parkinson's patient. Mike Tyson. That's a backward step. End of the day. Oh, AB, you said Mike was going to win. I was cut, to be fair. Yeah? The cabal and their moody media and their marketing, they cucked me. I'm a victim. I've been victimised by the cabal. Okay? That's not my fault. They show me clips and they're editing it. Oh, you should have seen that. It's not the point, though. Not only that, the old heads around Mike was lying to me. Yeah? I assumed old heads would be honest. I watched a video. It was like some cat here who used to hang around with Cuss when Mike was like 16 or 12 or whatever. He said, "Oh, Mike, I haven't seen you look this good since you were in the Catskills at 19. So I'm hearing that, thinking old heads don't blow smoke at people's ass. I thought, well, why would he lie for? He's not going to do that. They were talking about Cuss and that. I thought, there's no way this old head is going to be using Cuss's name in vain like that if he knows it's all for Fugazi. Oops. That's not on me, though. It's not. That's not my fault. Okay? That's what it's not. I need recompense. I've been defrauded. I've been violated. Pause. That's what that old head did to me. Talking about Cuss, about how Mike's 18 again. Oh, I don't know how you wound back the clock. I swear that's what he said. That's what he said. Oh, I've never seen Mike look this good. I'm sitting there thinking, well, he's 60 years old. That's a fair point to say. He was still 60, but the clips looked okay. The Roy Jones fight looked okay. Yeah? I think people even after that fight with Mike, they were saying Mike was told not to throw his hands. He just stood there. What is it? Is it Jake Paul's that good, yeah, and no one can throw their hands, or is it something in the contract that says don't throw your hands at all? That's the trend we're seeing here. Yeah? All these guys, they just stand there. So you have to believe Fake Paul's that good. If it's not rigged. Right? No one can throw their hands, he's so good and you can't get to him. His feet don't look that quick. He pushes his shots out. He wings the right hand over. Chavez never looked bothered. Washed up Chavez. Do you know what I mean? Chavez has never been stopped. They like to keep harping on about that. That was 10 years ago though. That was 5 kilos of Chang ago. He's never been stopped. That was during his serious career. He's never been stopped. So I'm tired of the rigged fight. I didn't watch it live. Alleged. Some people say I watched a Moody stream. Not my opinion. That's not what I did. But some people are speculating that the YB found a Moody stream allegedly. But yeah, it's always, you got to see someone who's in there to win. I think that's the missing ingredient. Like I said, you need someone who's willing and able to win. I don't think Mike really wanted to win. He didn't want to have a go, leave it all out there. Chavez, same thing. All these man, none of them want to leave it all out there. That's the missing ingredient here. Even Mike Perry. Too small though. It's all a big web, isn't it? There's a bunch of webbing that enables him to keep doing this. There's always some factor. Too small. And or no good. Too old. And or paid off. You see what? Everywhere you look, there's some structure he's got in there that bails him out. The one time, Tommy. Willing, able, young. Oh, you got boxed up. What are the chances of that? Right? What are the chances of that? And I think maybe with the Tommy fight, they didn't rig it because they thought, well, Tommy might expose it. They didn't put it in the contract for Tommy. Because if Tommy lost, Tommy might come out and say, yeah, look, they paid us to lose, kind of thing. I don't know. And or they thought Tommy's no good, and we don't need to rig it for that. But something's off with these ones, man. And we'll know it. I've said it before, but we'll know it. If Fake Paul fights like, I don't know, Ramirez or Badu Jack, I think Badu Jack is more buyable though. Badu Jack's 40. He's in that kind of Dubai crowd where the coin is king. I wouldn't be surprised if Badu Jack gets paid off to lose, honestly. I think that's where I don't think Ramirez would, if I'm honest. I think Ramirez got a little bit more pride. But Badu Jack's got that American mighty dollarness about him. You always see him hanging out in Dubai and that. I think he's probably more buyable. But we'll know. If Jake Paul's not that good, is the point, right? So if I see Badu Jack in there, just standing there like a heavy bag, it won't be because Fake Paul's magical. It'll be because he's been told to stand there like a heavy bag. That'll be the ultimate test. These Chavez ones, you can say, well, you can kind of justify it. I'm telling you now, if Badu Jack don't throw his hands against Fake Paul, they've all been rigged. And that fight was rigged as well, allegedly. Some people say it was. Yeah? For sure. We just can't seem to get to that point. And maybe the Tommy fight's the best answer. Or the Wilder fight. But the Tommy fight, Tommy's not going to... Tommy roll over for bread? I wouldn't put it past him either. But the first time he didn't. Maybe that is the best outcome here. Wilder could legitimately not have been paid off to lose and still lose. Wilder could go in there. From what I've seen of Wilder recently, he could go in there legitimately trying to win and still lose to Fake Paul. That's crazy, isn't it? Wow. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Why is me up watching Fake Paul as well? His style, it's irritating. I think it's irritating because it just looks like a sparring session that's made for him to look good. That's what every time I watch him, I think these guys are making him look good. Do you know what I mean? That's what winds me up. Them last 2 rounds, not 10 out of 10, but they were better. And I thought, okay, this is how a fight should look, right? Rounds 9 and 10, I think it was, something like that, 8, 9, and 10. I thought, okay, that's how the fight should look from the start. Do you understand? Someone half trying to actually do something. The first 8 rounds looked fake. It just didn't look real. It's often like that with him. Mike Tyson didn't look real either, did it? It just didn't look real. Takes is doing what he wants and Mike's standing there. Every time it's like that. Mike Perry, even him, he's useless. He might have not been no good anyway, to be fair. But still, he comes in there like this. Just standing there, getting teed off on. So you have to believe Fake Paul's footwork's that good. Well, these guys, there's something off here. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this. Some people stop it. Yep. Bye.